So, I have a theme today which has come to me through several different questions about looking within and about being in transition. Because, as you know, we are in a time of huge, significant transition. And whenever you are at a time of transition, it is most important to develop the capacity to look within and to understand what this means to look within. So I want to unpack looking within and look at this time of transition. Transition is like the change of a season. You know, one season is over and the new one is on its way. So right now, many things have left us. Old, familiar places are not available because of this pandemic. So that is over. Maybe some relationships have ended, a job has ended, a way of engaging socially in life for many of us is not available. So here we find ourselves amidst a time of great uncertainty, of not knowing. And anytime we transition from something old, there is a time of unrest, uncertainty, of, you could look at that in a negative way, but it's actually quite positive because when we're in uncertainty, we're entering a territory that is unknown. It isn't become visible. It isn't like visceral to our system yet. The same thing as if you've gone on a retreat or some other type of ceremony, perhaps with plant medicine or some kind of shamanic healing, silent retreat, working with a group of people and doing some very deep healing work, perhaps a profound therapeutic process where you've transitioned from one thing is gone. You've made a very clear choice to let something fall away, to let it heal, to let it clear. But what is next is unknown. So let's take a look at that. And the very most important thing about any kind of spiritual practice or any kind of healing work, finding yourself, finding your life purpose, is clarifying what you're in it for. Now, I received a question, and this person has said, I find myself at quite a threshold of daring to leave behind the old and familiar and to step into an unknown, which is guided by the compass of joy. I would love it if you could speak about this. So right there, I'm going to unpack this sentence that says, guided by the compass of joy. So whenever we approach a practice, dharma, it really has a lot to do with what are we looking for. So if our approach is about having a good experience, a positive experience, a joyful experience, an ecstatic experience, all of those things that we want. And if we hold a line of the compass of a direction to be only about feeling good or only about joy, only about bliss, or all of these wonderful things of expansion that we want, then we will naturally miss what else might be included in that terrain, because we will always have contrast. There will always be dark and there will be light. So on the other side of pain is joy. So sometimes we will hold on to something, an old relationship, a job, or a person, even a grief. Whenever we let go of something, there is a period of grief. And grief can be extremely uncomfortable, especially in most of our cultures. We're not given space to grieve We're not educated to foster emotional intelligence. So to hold on to a compass that is only looking for joy will keep us in a place of holding, because we're not allowing the fullness of experience to come into the terrain in which we're traversing. So when we look within, if we're looking within and only looking for a particular kind of experience, we're holding an expectation, we're holding ourselves to a particular expectation or goal or a feeling experience, and looking for sensations or ideas or body feelings even that might go along with that. So to look within, first of all, is to not look for anything in particular. It's to come right here to a stopping place, to let go of all distractions and everything we may have learned about what it means to see inside of yourself. Now, to see inside of yourself is an ongoing mystery. So right from the start, to open yourself to the possibility that within you is everything. You're infinite. So if you can let go of any expectation from the start and let yourself clarify what is your interest. So we're leaving our conceptual framework that might have an idea that the compass that steers me is joy. Well, maybe so, but what's on the other side of joy? There's always contrast. There's always two sides of everything, light and dark, joy and pain, comfort and discomfort. So when we look within, we drop beneath conceptual frameworks where we hold ourselves in a particular identity that then holds a particular expectation and interpretation and perception of life. And that can be very narrow. So when we're living from a mental conceptual framework, the view is narrow. So when it's narrow, of course, there's going to be fear because you're just up here. And as we look within, the interior frame of you, which is infinite. And you start to embody and come down and in, down and in, down and in, to include and feel everything that's here. Not looking for anything in particular. No, never. Just openness. And as the interior life is allowed to be experienced, felt, without interpretation, without conclusion, you find yourself more, I'd like to say headless, without a conceptual frame. And you begin to anchor and anchor and anchor more down in the body, at the base of the body. And this is where fear is washed out, because you're grounding and anchoring in a greater sense of wholeness. Because wholeness includes everything that you are. Everything, nothing is left out. And then our interior compass steers us from the ground up rather than the head down. I mean, when we're in the head, there usually isn't any going down. But here, from the ground up, and there's only expansion. And then in our field as it widens and expands and opens, and the lens in which we're perceiving life through is clearing, we see possibility, we feel possibility, we sense opportunity, we sense and feel alignment with a deeper sense of wholeness that is steering us from wholeness, not from lack, not from anything missing. So looking within is a never-ending journey, because what you are is infinite and includes everything. And as this perceiving is cleared at mind, heart, gut, all the way from the ground up, you perceive life as you perceive yourself. So if you're perceiving yourself from lack, or from striving, or from missing something, then when you look outside, life is going to look like that. Like it's not enough. There's something missing out there, and why be engaged, And then the mind will come up with, what's the point? Is it even worth it? All of these kind of hopeless statements start to come into a framework of hopelessness. And that's happening now, and I hear it from a lot of people. So now more than ever, to take the opportunity to explore the interior life, to fortify your practice with the things that offer you a sense of stability, of feeling anchored in your body, of widening your intuitive feeling of a compass that is in alignment right in the middle between all of these contrasts of light and dark, pain and joy, too much, not enough, all of it. Include it all. And in including it all, you come into an alignment that is very balanced. Doesn't leave anything out. So I want you to know that your soul is okay with both joy and pain.